Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ben Schlittler.
And I'm Maddie Volmer. 9 Las Crucians are facing charges after state police fanned out across the city in a warrant sweep.
The operation took place on February 6th and 7th. The fugitives were wanted for a variety of charges, including probation violations, drug charges, burglary, shoplifting, gun violations, battery on law enforcement officer, and evading police. In addition to the state police and other New Mexico law enforcement agencies, the U.S. Marshal Service also took part. New Mexico is a dangerous place to take a walk. In fact, the National Highway Traffic Administration says New Mexico had the highest pedestrian fatality rate per capita since 2016.
From 2016 to 2021, New Mexico averaged around 4 deaths per year. News 22's Mark Baugh has more on the story.
For the last 18 years, Big Al has been guarding students and parents on their way to school. His dedication to safety has been a much needed one in his line of work.
And I like it. I like my kids, parents, they're beautiful.
Thanks to Al and many other crossing guards, school zones have been protected, giving parents a sense of relief getting their kids to school.
And I think it's very important that I get to know them because they're humans, they're not just machines. They're there for the relationship and for us, to help us.
However, for Al and many others in Las Cruces, there's a shared concern. And one of the causes?
There's a lot of vehicles that they don't pay attention to the sign.
Hey! Walkability has become a major focus for the citizens of Las Cruces, and the city has begun to address those concerns. Areas such as the one behind me have begun adding improvements to create safer roadways for pedestrians and motorists alike.
We have a project on South Main between Bouts and Avenida de Mesilla. Well, that is a 4-lane road. We are doing a road diet on that to reduce 2 lanes of travel to 1 lane of travel in each direction with the center median.
These improvements will allow for safer pedestrian travel and reduce vehicle traffic. There are also other areas in town where the city hopes to implement the same changes.
Our urban area, our recommendations for how we address these corridors takes into account that we want to encourage that pedestrian traffic.
Creating a safer and more walkable community is what the city is striving to do, and the steps being taken are hoping to do just that. And meanwhile, back on Elks, Al continues taking care of business. Mark Baugh, News 22.
Thanks, Mark. Now, it is getting really sunny here in Las Cruces, starting those spring temperatures.
Well, I know, it seems we can finally move the sweaters to the back of the closet. Sam, what can you tell us about today's weather?
Thank you, guys. Let's go take a look at those current conditions. Right now in Las Cruces, we've got some partly cloudy skies. It's 62 degrees right now, and those winds are moving from south to west at 7 miles per hour. Humidity is sitting at 18%, and that dew point is 18 degrees. The barometer is at 29.96 inches. Today in Las Cruces, we had a high of 68 degrees, which is just 4 degrees above the average of 64. We had a low of 37 degrees. In 2014, we had a high of 82 degrees, and in 1964, we had a low of a very, very cold 11 degrees. Today, we did not have any precipitation, but this year, we've had just less than an inch of rainfall. That's all I've got for your current conditions. Back to the desk.
It's getting close to that time when graduating seniors are very focused on their future careers. Earlier this month, a career fair was held at Corbett Center Student Union. There were school districts looking for teachers, companies looking for engineers, along with many other careers.
I would say you never know, because a lot of these companies work together and they kind of know each other. So if you work at one company, maybe you know them from the job fair, and then you could branch out and do something that you want from them.
NMSU has career fairs throughout the semester. Stay tuned, Sam will be back with your national weather forecast.
But first, scientists have proven that little exercise will help make you feel better. And later in sports, we will meet the new NMSU football coach. More on that when News 22 continues.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Thursday.
Where news matters.
NMSU has been awarded over $1 million to participate in a nationwide climate research project. Here in New Mexico, they'll mainly be studying cotton plants, conducting field experiments to enhance cotton resiliency to climate change, reduce emissions, and raise soil quality. The project will also give graduate and undergraduate students experience in climate change research. NMSU is working with Auburn University and the University of Delaware on this project as part of the National Science Foundation's $56 million investment in climate research. While the university researches climate change, there are several students who have a grounded perspective about the climate.
They're gardeners who take care of the NMSU community garden. As a part of the preparation for planting season, they recently had a seed exchange. They got to see what their friends were planting and they got to trade for the best seeds. They grow all kinds of crops, and this event helps the ideal garden. Now Sam is next.
So we're the community garden here at NMSU, and seed exchange is primarily a way to build our gardens with each other, just increase the diversity, share what we have, like an excess of what one person has, a deficiency of another, and secondarily it's a way to build community within our garden, because that is part of the name. It's a community garden.
Sam is next with the national weather forecast.
Thanks, Maddie. Let's go ahead and take a look at these national maps. As you can see, we've got some varying temperatures across the country, but if you start to look down here in the southern hemisphere, things are starting to warm up quite a bit. You can see down here in Tampa, it was a really nice 76 degrees today, and if we travel over to the southwest area, we're seeing temperatures varying from 60s to 70s. But if we go up north a little bit, it's starting to get a lot rainier. We're starting to see some cloudy skies, and unfortunately, up here in the northern part of the country, they are still having some below freezing temperatures and quite a bit of snow. Now, if we travel up to the eastern part of the country, we are seeing some pretty harsh breezes in the windy city of Chicago. Now, if we move on to my next map, I can tell you a little bit more about these winds. All right, so down here in the southwest, we are experiencing some pretty mild winds, which we should be pretty used to around this time of year. But as we travel up north, they start to get some pretty heavier gusts. Now, these winds have completely skipped the Great Basin and the south, but as we can see up here in the upper Midwest, these gusts are getting pretty strong, even up to 38 miles per hour. Now, if we move on to my next map. All right, so tomorrow's forecast, we're seeing some rain down here in the south and some pretty sunny skies in the southwest. That's all I've got for your national maps. Now, I'll be back with your local forecast after the break. All right, welcome back. So up here in Farmington, we've got 49 degrees. In Santa Fe, it's gonna be 46. Albuquerque, 57 degrees right now. Up in Socorro, that's gonna be 56 degrees. Down here in Las Cruces, it's sitting at about 62 degrees, and in Deming, it's 60 degrees. Tomorrow, we're gonna be seeing 53 degrees in Farmington, 49 in Santa Fe, 59 in Albuquerque, 53 in Ruidoso, 69 in Las Cruces, and 67 in Deming. For tonight in Alamogordo, we're going to be seeing a low of 36 degrees with some cloudy skies and a high of 66 with sunny skies. In Truth or Consequences tonight, we're going to be seeing 35 degrees with some clear skies and a sunny 68 tomorrow for the high. In Silver City tonight, we've got a low of 32 degrees and tomorrow a high of 60 with sunny skies. In Las Cruces tonight, we've got a low of 39 degrees with some partly cloudy skies and a high of 69 tomorrow. Expect some partly cloudy skies as well. And that's back to the desk for more news.
NMSU basketball has been on a road skid. Carpio, what can you tell us about that?
Thanks, Ben. Coming up in sports, the men's basketball team is looking to end their losing streak tonight. Now you can toss that remote because News 22 Sports is coming up next.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Carpio Grego. Now let's talk sports. Now, the NMSU men's basketball team has had a very dismal performance on the road this year. Now, as the Aggies hit the road to face Middle Tennessee, they look to snap their season-long losing streak. Right now, they're 0-10. Hopefully, they can fix that record a little bit. Now, it's kind of weird because the Aggies have had the polar opposite effect at home, with boasting an 11-1 record. But luckily, Middle Tennessee is the ideal opponent for the Aggies to get a road win, considering they're second to last in the conference. You can see that game right now on ESPN Plus after the newscast, of course. And LSU running back Trey Hawley is behind bars for attempted second-degree murder and facing 3 other charges. Now, Hawley has been suspended indefinitely by the LSU football program following a February 9th shooting in which 2 people were shot. And as of now, while the details aren't completely out, the incident happened in Hawley's hometown of Farmersville, Louisiana, where a woman was left in critical condition after being shot 3 times, and a man was shot once in the leg. Now, needless to say, it'll be a long time before the 4-star recruit will see any more NCAA action on the gridiron. And the NMSU women's basketball team is also playing a game tonight. They're hosting the Middle Tennessee Lady Raiders. The Aggies will have their hands full tonight as the last meeting with Middle Tennessee ended in a pretty embarrassing 85-48 blowout loss, and the Lady Raiders look to continue their undefeated Conference USA record tonight against the Aggies. Now, if you miss tonight, that's okay because they're going to be facing Western Kentucky a Saturday at the Pan Am Center at 2 o'clock. Now, as we all know, the Aggie football program is coming off a historical season, and now they're preparing for a new era under a new head coach leading the way.
Every year, college football teams immediately put the previous season behind them and begin preparing for the new one. For the Aggies, their preparation will look different with a new coach leading the way. Tony Sanchez is the first Hispanic coach in program history who is stepping in following Coach Kill's departure. With 2 seasons as the receivers coach under his belt, he will now build his own staff.
I'm excited about it. I mean, going to 2 bowl games in a row, playing for a conference championship, winning a bowl game. I think we have high expectations now. We're going to continue those expectations, and we'd love to continue to build on it.
This will be his first head coaching job since 2019, where he led the UNLV Rebels for 5 seasons, piling a 20-40 record before earning his current position with the Aggies.
So, might be a little pipeline from Bishop Gorman's.
Despite taking over, there is one major difference from last season. Sanchez will have the quarterback services of somebody other than Diego Pavia for the upcoming season and will use that as an opportunity to improve the passing game.
The great thing for us is we feel like it gives us a chance to be better at quarterback. We need to get better at throwing the football. We have all these talented guys on the outside.
Although several players left, Sanchez recruited more talent and is looking forward to their contributions next season.
We've got some other guys there, too, that I really think are going to be able to compete at a high level, too. We brought 3 guys in. So I honestly think, when you look at it, we brought guys in from Arizona State, guys in from UTSA, guys in from Oklahoma State. So the portal works both ways.
With all the new recruits joining the team, the support from the fans, and spring football beginning in March, Sanchez looks to be prepared for the 2024 season. Victor Fierro, News 22.
Well, everyone here at News 22 is wishing you luck in your first season, Senor Sanchez. Now, that's all we have for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action next week. Now, still ahead on News 22, we're going to have Sam with your 5-day forecast. But before you go, it's a special day for river cows. That's right. More on that when News 22 comes back.
Let's take a look at our top stories.
The New Mexico State football team just came off a historical season and will kick off this new season with a new coach. New Mexico State Police conducted a crime suppression across Las Cruces and 9 individuals were arrested. And New Mexico students had a seed exchange to prepare for the upcoming planting season. It's time to celebrate the renowned hippopotamus. Today is World Hippo Day.
The day brings awareness to these vulnerable giants, which are the 3rd largest land mammal in the world. Hippos can weigh up to 3,000 pounds. In 2006, the International Union for the Conservation of Nature listed them as vulnerable. Hippo numbers have been declining due to poaching and the loss of habitat. Native to sub-Saharan Africa, hippos primarily live in and near rivers, lakes, and swamps. Now let's take a look at our 5-day forecast.
All right, so we're going to see sunny skies throughout the whole weekend. It's going to be in the 60s from Friday to Sunday. On Monday, we're going to see some cloudy skies. It's going to be 74 degrees and a low of 43. On Tuesday, we're going to see a high of 79 degrees and a low of 45. That's all for your 5-day forecast. Now back to the desk.
That's all for News 22 Thursday. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Tune in next week for more news. I'm Ben Schlittler.
And I'm Maddie Volmer, and from the whole News 22 team, Ben, Sam, Carpio, and myself, good night.
En Español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Aira Sánchez y gracias por acompañarnos en las breves de hoy con Noticias 22. La semana pasada, la Unidad de Aprehensión de Fugitivos de la Oficina de Supresión del Crimen de la Policía Estatal de Nuevo México, junto con varias agencias policiales, llevaron a cabo una operación con orden de arresto en Las Cruces. La operación se enfocó en localizar y detener a personas con órdenes de detención activas. En esta operación se arrestaron 9 personas con cargos desde violación de libertad condicional, tráfico y posesión de drogas, robo residencial y hurto de mercancías en tiendas. Como parte de las operaciones en el estado, los oficiales de la Policía Estatal de Nuevo México arrestaron a 20 presuntos conductores ebrios. Durante el fin de semana, los oficiales hicieron 48 multas reforzando las leyes de tráfico para la seguridad de todos nuestros conductores. El público está invitado a una vigilia de velas en homenaje a Jonah Hernández. El evento tendrá lugar en Albert Johnson Park este viernes a las 6. También habrá un funeral el próximo miércoles a las 10 de la mañana en la iglesia Abundant Living en El Paso. Los dolientes de Las Cruces pueden mostrar su apoyo al agente colocando una luz azul en el Porsche cada noche hasta el 21 de febrero. Al día de hoy, la página de GoFundMe ha juntado más de $100,000. Eso fue todo por mi parte. Gracias por acompañarnos.